Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about that VueJS loop, and also all that our previous video I have discussed about Laravel, all the detectives. Okay, and now I want to discuss about Laravel CLI. So what is exactly that CLI? Like when you using Laravel, some of the command line as a PHP artisan make controller, PHP artisan make model, PHP artisan make migration. So right, so we have used some of the command line with the composer, right? So when if you want to work in your VueJS project, so for the VueJS, they have also another this type of command line, and this command line is called as a CLI. I hope you can well understand about it. Like in Laravel, we use it with the composer, and with this composer, we define all that our terminal, all that our code, right? So if you want to use that all that command line into the VueJS, then you have to use that CLI. So if you want to working with the CLI, first of all, you have to install that CLI. Like if you go to that Google, and here if you search with the CLI, that is defined as a Vue CLI. And now if you click on the enter here, that is our official website, that is a Vue CLI. You can see that is actually the Vue CLI. We have to install it. So now if you click on the get started, so that's all the installation process. And here, as I told you before, make that sure you install that npm. So right now we will need it. As I told you, you have to install that Node.js. So make that sure you install it in your system, because right now we will use it. So that is the Node.js, and it's pretty much simple process that you, whatever the system you are using, you have to just simply click on here, download it. Simple software, you have to install it. So make that sure you install it. So I have already installed that Node.js in our system. So right now we don't need this. So make that sure you download it. And after that, here we have to install our CLI. That means this CLI. And if you want to install it, they have all that command line. Okay, so here if you click on the install, and into the install here, you can see that is all that command. So that is a npm install and the Vue. So if you want to install it globally, then you can install it globally. So as I told you before, in Laravel with the composer, we define some of the command line, right? So as a PHP artisan make controller, so this type of, when if you want to create some of the controller, define that name as a PHP artisan make controller. If you want to create some of the model, then you have to define as a PHP artisan make model. So now if you want to define that code in VueJS, then you have to define that things with the CLI. So step by step, friend, everything will be clear to you, so don't worry about it. I designed that course like that way. I tried to explain everything step by step. Okay, so now I want to do, first of all, I want to install that CLI globally in our system. So now if you want to install it, like here, that is our project exercise file. Into the project exercise file, I have created one of the VueJS folder. So better I want to add that things on here. You can see I didn't actually run it in our local host, so you can manage that things without local host, as I told you before. So like that is in our desktop. Into the desktop, I have created one of the folder as the exercise file. Into the exercise file, that is our VueJS folder. Into the VueJS folder, I want to install it. So I just simply define as a cmd, and now that is our terminal. So that is our terminal. You can see that is a desktop, exercise file, and the VueJS folder. So into the VueJS folder here, I want to install this CLI. So you have to run this command as a npm install g, that means global Vue CLI. Okay, so make that sure you install that npm, that means the Node.js, rather than this code will be not working. So I just simply copy it. Now go to our terminal. So here I just simply paste it. So here I just simply click on the enter. So now it should be downloading all that file, all the resources from to the internet. So make that sure you are connected with the internet, because it should be needed. So it may take little time. Better I want to pause that video, and when it should be done, then I will come back again. So friend, here you can see our VueJS CLI is perfectly installed. So now it's perfectly installed in our global area. And also if you want to check that version, you can also check it. Like here you can see there is actually another command as a Vue version. So if you want to check that version, then you can simply define as a Vue and then version. If you click on the enter, now you can see it's now showing our CLI version as a 4.2.3. So now I want to create one of the VueJS project. So if you want to create one of the project, like basic, you can see there is a create project. So if you click on here, so then it should be display some of the things, like there is a create a new project. Then you have to run these Vue create and hello world. Okay, So this type of one of the project I also want to create, so better I just copy it. So I want to create some of the project in our this folder, that means in our exercise folder, that is a Vue.js. So into the Vue.js here I want to create one of the projects, so I just simply define as a Vue create and the hello world. So now I want to change that name, and here I change that name as a whatever you want. So right now I just simply define as a Udemy. Okay, so this type of one of the project name I want to create. So that is our Vue and the create and the Udemy. So that should be our project directory. So it should be create one of the folder in our this Vue.js folder. Okay, so in particular that area it should be create. So better I want to create as a Vue. Okay, so there should be easy. So in our Vue, that means in our Vue.js folder, I want to create another project for the Vue as a Vue. Okay, so now if you click on the enter, then it should be create your project. So also it may take little time. You have to wait for it a little bit and make sure you are connected with the internet. So better when it should be done, then I will come back again. So friend, when you create this project, first of all it should be show some of the note as a please pick a preset, and into the preset there is a default as a bubble and the slide. So now I want to click on the enter again. So you don't need to do anything. I just click on the enter. Now you can see it's now created one of the folder in particular that area as a Vue. So now it's downloading all the resources from to the internet. So as I told you before, make that sure you are connected with the internet, and it may take little time. So friend, when it should be done, then I will come back again. So friend, here you can see we successfully install our Vue. So that is our Vue is successfully now installed. So now it's perfect, and also when it should be done, there should be redirected to your directory, and into the directory it's now say you have to run that as a npm run serve. So in Laravel, what exactly we did? In Laravel, we defined that things in our composer as a PHP artisan. Okay, PHP artisan and the serve, and when you press that things as a PHP artisan serve, then it's defined some of the URL for access, right? So in Vue, there's also the same things. Now we have to run it with the npm run serve, because as I told you, you have to install that Node.js. So right now with this Node.js, we can use that npm. Okay, so now we have to run it in our this folder, that means the Vue folder. So I just cut it. Now go to our open folder, there's a Vue, and here I just define as a cmd. So now in particular that area, that means in our Vue.js, that is our Vue, into this folder I have installed it. So now in particular that position I define as the npm and the run and serve. I just simply define as the npm run serve. So now if you click on the enter, now it will give you some of the link for access your all that file. Now you can see it's now showing as a compiled successfully, and now here there is a local and there is a network. So right now I want to use that local, so I just simply copy it and now go to your browser. Here I have installed it. So now if you want to access it, yes, now you can see our Vue.js is perfectly installed. And also in our browser they have I added one of the extension for the Vue develop tools. Okay, so now you can see this page is accessed with the Vue. So for the reasons here automatically it's become colorful, like here you can see it's not colorful, so there is HTML. So now there is our Vue.js file, for the reasons it's now perfectly visible. So if you want to download it, there is also one of the extension, that means the Chrome extension. If you go to that Google, you have to find out as a Vue, that is actually Vue.js extension. So you have to search with this, and there is a Vue.js dev extension for the Chrome. So if you open it, so I have already installed it in my browser. You can see it's now perfectly visible. So you have to install it in particular that area. Okay, so you have to add that, then you will get this type of one of the icons. So right now I have already that part, so right now we don't need this. So that is our Vue.js, all that file. Okay, like if you now open it, go to our project directory, that is our folder as a Vue. Better right now we don't need this. I create as a new one. I just cut it, and here I want to add that project. So that is our folder as a Vue. So here I want to take it. So here I just simply take it. Okay, so that is our Vue, and in particular that position, what exactly things in here, like there is our PHP, all that package JSON, and that is all that our package details. You will get all the things from here. There is the public, into the public there is our HTML, so there is some of the HTML code, and also into the src, and here there is actually the component. Okay, and into the component here you can see there is actually the hello world, and there is our main things, that is the app.js, that is the app view. So that is all that Vue, and you can see that is all that file is define that name as a Vue. So that is the Vue, actually the extension. So you have to define, if you want to create new page, then you have to define that extension name as a Vue. And in Laravel we use it as a blade.php, right? So here we have to define that name with this extension as a .vue. And that is our asset. Into the asset they have all that images. You will save that things in particular that area, and that is a public index, and that is our node, all that file. Okay, so step by step I will show you. That is all that our node module is successfully installed on here, and that is all that our file. Okay, so we successfully install our Vue in with the CLI. So here like if you now you can see they have some of the page is now perfectly loaded. So this page is loaded now. It should be very much clear to you. Like here, if you go to the app view, and now better I just open it with our PHP. So that is our PHP. Okay, I just defined that with this PHP, and here that is our index page. If you go to the public, into the public, that is the index page, and into the index page here you can see they have one of the ID as a app. So friend, now it should be very much clear to you. As I told you before, whatever the things you'll put in our that position, that should be loaded. And also there is another file as the app VueJs. Into the app VueJs, here you can see that is actually the export default. So step by step, don't worry, step by step I will discuss about that things with you, how can create one of the component in particular that area, why you have to export it. So here I define that export name as the app. So into the app position I just define one of the component, and here you can see that is actually hello world. So with this hello world I just simply define that message. So there is a welcome to some of the message and the VueJS app. Okay, so this message is now visible. You can see that is actually this message is visible on here. That is our logo. So that is actually the logo is also defining in particular that area. So that is one of the templates. So that is our template part. And then also there is a script. Into the script you have to define that your all that things. Like here I just define as a hello world, and also here I load our component. So in our component folder, that means in our component folder, and that is our hello world. So this hello world is now perfectly now visible. So this all the data actually visible on here. So don't worry, we successfully install it, and in our next video step by step I will show you how can create some of the Vue page, how can create the component, everything step by step. I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.